Hello, my friend. What if I told you to imagine a giant plate of biryani, but with only plain white rice, no spicy masala, no vegetables, no juicy chicken or paneer, just rice? Sounds super boring, right?
Well, that's what the world would be like if we were all exactly the same. The different ingredients, that's what makes life exciting.
And our country, India, is like the most flavorful, amazing biryani in the world. It's packed with different people, different traditions, different beliefs.
We have differences in gender, religion, and caste. And these differences can sometimes lead to misunderstandings, unfairness, which is called inequality.
It's like some ingredients in the biryani getting more space on the plate than others.
But here's the cool part. In a democracy like ours, talking about these differences and even arguing about them can actually be a good thing.
It's how we make sure everyone gets their fair share of the biryani.
So, in our chat today, we're going to become detectives and investigate three big social differences in India: gender, religion, and caste.
We'll uncover how they affect our daily lives, how they pop up in politics, and figure out if bringing them out in the open helps or hurts our amazing country. Ready to dig in? Let's go.
All right, let's start with something we see every single day, right in our own homes. The difference between boys and girls, men and women.
Think of life like a big stage show. There are actors on stage getting all the applause. We'll call this the public world.
This is the world of offices, factories, politics, and big decisions. Then there's the private world. Everything that happens backstage to make the show possible.
This is our home life, the cooking, the cleaning, taking care of everyone.
For centuries, society has created a kind of unwritten rule. It has stereotyped men as the main actors for the onstage show, and women for the backstage work.
This is called the sexual division of labor. It's not a natural thing, my friend. It's a story society has told itself for a very, very long time.
Just think about it. Who in your family usually makes the tea, packs the tiffins, or cleans up after dinner? Very often, it's the women, right?
But does this mean men can't do these jobs? Of course not. Think about the best chefs in big hotels or famous tailors. Many of them are men, and they get paid for that work.
And women are not just backstage. In villages, women are out in the fields, fetching water for miles. In cities, they are doctors, engineers, and office workers.
In fact, most women are like superstars, playing a double role. They have their onstage job, and then they come home to run the entire backstage show too.
But here's the problem. The backstage work, the work inside the home, is often not seen as real work. No one gives a trophy for it.
It's unpaid and totally undervalued. Have you heard someone say, "My mother doesn't work, she's a housewife"?
That's like saying the director of the play does nothing because they aren't on stage. Managing a home is a full-time, non-stop job.
In fact, a survey in India found something incredible. On average, a woman works for more than 7.5 hours every day. A man?
About 6.5. So, who is working more? But because a man's work usually earns money, it's more visible. It's on stage.
A huge part of a woman's hard work remains backstage, invisible and unappreciated.
Because of this public and private divide, women, who are half of our world's population, have had a very small role in public life for a long time.
Imagine a giant cricket match where half the team was told they could only stay in the pavilion and not bat or bowl.
That's what it was like. For centuries, in most places, only men were allowed to vote or become leaders.
But then, women all over the world stood up. They started movements, they protested, and they fought for their right to play on the main field.
They demanded the right to vote, to get the same education as boys, and to have the same career opportunities.
Some of these movements were called feminist movements. Now, feminist might sound like a big, complicated word, but the idea is super simple.
A feminist is anyone, a man or a woman, who believes that both boys and girls should have the same rights and opportunities.
It's like believing that both the batsman who scores a century and the bowler who takes 5 wickets are equally important to winning the match. Simple, right?
Thanks to these struggles, things are changing. Today, we see women as scientists at ISRO, as doctors saving lives, as CEOs running big companies, roles that were once considered only for men.
In countries like Sweden and Norway, the number of women in politics and public life is almost equal to men. They've shown the world what a balanced team can achieve.
Challenges for Indian women, the hurdles in the race.
Even after so many years of independence in India, the race for equality still has many hurdles for women. Our society is still largely a patriarchal one.
Think of it like a family where the father or the oldest male member makes all the final decisions. A patriarchal society is one that is male-dominated, where men hold most of the power and are often valued more.
This creates some serious challenges for women in India.
The education gap: only 54% of women are literate, compared to 76% of men.
If a family has to choose, they often spend more money on their son's education than their daughter's, even if the daughter is a brilliant student.
The unpaid overtime. As we saw, an average Indian woman works 1 hour more than an average man every day. But so much of her work is the unpaid, backstage work that isn't counted.
The salary difference. Have you heard of the Equal Remuneration Act? It's a law from 1976 that says for the same work, men and women must get the same pay.
But even today, whether in Bollywood, in sports, or in a farm, women are often paid less than men for doing the exact same job.
Sex-selective, abortion, and declining child sex ratio. In many parts of our country, there is a strong preference for sons.
This has led to a horrible practice where people find out if the baby is a girl and stop her from being born. This has created a scary imbalance.
Our child sex ratio has dropped to just 919 girls for every 1,000 boys. That's a huge gap. It's like a garden where someone keeps pulling out the rose saplings because they only want marigolds. The whole garden suffers with this.
Safety and violence. This is tough to talk about, but it's crucial. Women in our country often face harassment and violence.
Cities can feel unsafe, and sadly, even homes are not always safe. With issues like domestic violence, we must build an India where every girl and woman feels safe, respected, and free everywhere she goes.
So, we've seen all these challenges women face. It's like knowing there are a lot of problems with the team's strategy, but having no say in the team meeting.
This is exactly what many women and feminists realized. For things to truly change, women need to be in the room where decisions are made.
They need to have power. And a huge part of that power comes from being elected as our leaders in government.
But here's a shocking fact, my friend. Let's imagine our Lok Sabha, the big house of parliament in Delhi where laws for the whole country are made, is a big classroom of 100 students.
How many of those students making the rules do you think are women? In 2019, the percentage of elected women members in the Lok Sabha reached 14.36% for the first time.
In state assemblies, their share is even lower, less than 5%.
If you compare India to a global classroom, we are sitting near the back of the class on this issue.
We are behind many developing countries in Africa and Latin America.
Even when we have a super strong woman leader, like a chief minister or prime minister, if you look at her team of ministers, it's usually still filled mostly with men.
Steps towards better representation. So, how do we fix this? How do we get more women on the main playing field? Well, one powerful idea is reservation.
It's like making a rule that for every 3 players chosen for a local team, one must be a woman.
And guess what? We already did this in our local governments. In our panchayats in villages and municipalities in cities, 1/3 of all the seats are reserved for women.
This one rule has been a super game changer. Suddenly, we have more than 10 lakh elected women leaders all across India.
Think about that. 1 million women in power, talking about what their villages and towns really need, like clean water, schools for girls, and safer streets.
For years, people fought to bring this same amazing rule to the Lok Sabha and the state assemblies.
And my friend, here is some historic, goosebumps-giving news. In 2023, the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, which means the Saluting Women's Power Act, was passed.
This new law will now reserve 33%, or 1/3, of the seats for women in the Lok Sabha and state assemblies too. This is one of the biggest steps for women's equality in India's history.
So you see, the problems women faced didn't get solved by staying quiet. They got solved when this division between men and women was brought right into the middle of politics and discussed loudly. Our country is like a home to almost every major religion in the world. This religious diversity is one of India's greatest strengths.
Now, a big question comes up. Should religion and politics ever mix? It sounds like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? But let's look closer.
Think of Mahatma Gandhi. He famously said that religion and politics cannot be separated. But wait, he didn't mean that politics should be about one specific religion.
He meant that politics needs a moral compass, a strong sense of right and wrong, of truth and kindness. And these are values that all great religions teach us. Politics, for him, needed to have a conscience.
Or think about this. When human rights groups ask the government to protect people from religious minorities during riots, they are mixing social justice with religion.
When women's movements argue that some family laws in different religions are unfair to women and need to be changed, they are asking politicians to step in and ensure fairness for everyone.
Do these examples sound dangerous? Not really. They are about making our society more just and equal. So, ideas and values from religion can have a positive role in politics.
People should be able to speak up as members of a religious community. The key is that the government must always be a fair umpire, treating every single religion with equal respect and never favoring one over the other.
The real problem begins when the masala tries to take over the whole biryani. The problem starts when religion is used not as a moral compass, but as a weapon. This dangerous idea is called communalism.
Communalism is a twisted way of thinking. It says, all people who follow one religion are one single team.
Their interests are exactly the same, and they are completely different from everyone else.
In fact, different religious teams can't possibly live together happily as equals.
Imagine your school cricket team. You are all players for Team A. But communalism is when someone says, no, we are not one team.
We are the fast bowlers team and the spinners team. And my team is better and more important. What would happen? The school team would fall apart, right? Our country is that school team.
Communalism show up into our lives in different ways.
In everyday talk. The most common form is in our daily beliefs and conversations.
It's the little prejudices, prejudging someone based on their religion, The stereotypes you might see in a WhatsApp forward or a joke that makes fun of another religion.
It plants a tiny poisonous seed of us versus them.
The hunger for power. A communal mindset then says, my religious team should be in charge.
If it's the majority community, this is called majoritarianism, the belief that the majority should rule the country however it wants, which was followed by Sri Lanka.
Using religion for votes. This is when leaders try to get votes by appealing to religious feelings.
They might use holy symbols or ask religious leaders to tell people who to vote for. They create fear, saying, vote for me or the other religion will harm you, instead of talking about building better hospitals or roads for everyone.
Communal violence. This is when the arguments turn into a real fight. Communalism can lead to riots and massacres where neighbor turns against neighbor.
Our country suffered the terrible pain of this during the partition in 1947, and we have seen its ugly face in riots even after independence.
It's the ultimate tragedy when the team starts destroying itself. This is the danger we must always, always guard against.
Now, we saw how dangerous communalism, that my team is the only team thinking, can be. It's like a fire that can burn down the whole house.
The brilliant people who wrote our Constitution, our country's main rule book, knew this very well. They had seen the terrible fires of partition.
So, they built a powerful, fireproof shield to protect India. That shield is called Secularism.
So, what does this super shield do? It has a few amazing features built right into our Constitution.
No official religion. Imagine a family with children who have different talents. One is a singer, one a painter, another a cricketer.
A good parent loves them all equally and doesn't say, the one is my official favorite. Our Indian state is like that parent. It has no official religion.
Unlike some of our neighbors, India doesn't favor one religion over another. All are equal.
The freedom to believe. The rule book says every single person is free to follow their own heart. You can believe in any religion, practice it, and share its teachings.
Or you can choose not to follow any religion at all. It's your personal choice, and your freedom is protected.
Prohibition of discrimination. It means no unfair treatment. The shield makes it clear the government cannot treat you differently just because of your religion.
You can't be denied a job or a place in a college because you are a Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Christian, Buddhist, or Jain.
State intervention for equality. But what if a rule within a religion is causing unfairness? Here, our Constitution allows the government to be a fair umpire and step in.
The most powerful example is the banning of untouchability. This was a cruel, discriminatory practice within the Hindu social structure, and our Constitution said, no, this is not allowed in this house. Everyone is equal.
So you see, secularism isn't just a political idea, it's the foundation of our home, India, and communalism is a threat to the idea of India itself.
Our secular constitution is our best defense, but it needs our help. As we live our lives, enjoying the peace between different communities, we have to be the soldiers who protect this idea.
We must challenge prejudice wherever we see it and build friendships that cross all religious lines.
All right, let's talk about our final social division, one that is very unique to India, caste. This is a tough topic, but a super important one.
To understand it, I want you to imagine a massive running race, a race for life. But there's a catch. Instead of everyone starting at the same line, the rules are totally unfair.
Some people get to start right near the finish line. Many others have to start in the middle.
And a huge number of people are forced to start kilometers behind everyone else.
And the cruelest part, you cannot change your starting position. It was decided for you the moment you were born, based on the family you were born into.
This, my friend, is a simple way to understand the injustice of the caste system. It was a system where your job was decided by your parents' job.
Where you could only marry someone from your own starting line, and where people from different starting lines were often not even allowed to eat together.
And then there was the most inhumane part of this system, untouchability. This was a rule that said certain groups of people weren't even allowed on the racetrack.
They were kept outside, excluded, and treated as impure. It is one of the deepest scars on our country's history.
Thankfully, that's not where the story ends. Our history is also filled with heroes who fought to smash this unfair system.
Great social reformers like Jyotiba Phule, Periyar Ramaswamy Naikar, Mahatma Gandhi, and the architect of our constitution himself, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
They were like brave new race officials who shouted, "This is wrong. We must create a new fair race for everyone."
And because of their hard work, and because our country changed, things began to get better.
People moved from villages to big cities. When you're on a crowded bus in Delhi or Mumbai, nobody asks about your caste.
Education and new kinds of jobs gave people new skills, like giving them brand new running shoes and a chance to choose a different path.
And most importantly, our new constitution officially banned all caste-based discrimination. The new rulebook declared the old unfair race is over. Everyone is an equal citizen.
If someone from 200 years ago visited India today, they would be shocked by how much has changed.
Caste, still present today? The honest answer, my friend, is not yet. The shadow of the old unfair caste system is still with us.
Even today, most people still marry someone from their own caste.
And though it's illegal, the horrible practice of untouchability has not completely vanished from some corners of our country.
Think about our race analogy. Even if you declare that everyone now starts at the same line, what about the people whose families got a head start for centuries?
They have had better access to education, wealth, and opportunities. They are still way ahead, and the people whose families were forced to start at the back are still struggling to catch up. The effects of the old unfair race are still very real.
Even today, the groups who face the most poverty are often the Dalits and Adivasis, the very communities who were forced to start at the very back of the race.
The old caste hierarchy and today's economic status are still, sadly, deeply connected.
The race is fairer now than it has ever been, but our mission is to make sure one day every single child in India truly gets to start at the same line, with the same chance to win.
Just like communalism, casteism is rooted in a flawed belief that caste is the only basis of social community.
According to this thinking, people of the same caste are a natural community and have the exact same interests, which are different from people of other castes.
But just like with communalism, our own experience shows this isn't true. Caste is one part of who we are, but it's not the only or even the most important part.
Caste in politics, how it works. Caste plays different roles in politics.
Candidate selection. When political parties choose who will run in elections, they seriously consider the caste composition of the voters in that area.
They try to nominate candidates from different castes to gather enough support to win.
Government formation. When governments are formed, political parties often make sure that representatives from various castes and tribes get a place in the cabinet.
Appeals to caste, sentiment. Political parties and candidates often appeal to caste feelings to gain support.
Some parties might become known for favoring certain castes and are seen as representing them.
It might seem like elections are all about caste, but that's far from true. Let's think about this.
No single caste majority, no parliamentary area in our country has a clear majority of just one caste. So, every candidate and party needs to win the trust of more than one caste and community to win elections.
No vote bank is absolute. When people say a caste is a vote bank for a particular party, it just means a large proportion of voters from that caste vote for that party, not all of them.
Multiple candidates from one caste. Sometimes many political parties might put up candidates from the same caste if that caste is believed to be important in a particular area.
This means some voters might have multiple candidates from their own caste to choose from, while others might have none.
Voters are not fixed. The ruling party and even sitting members of parliament, MPs, or members of legislative assembly, MLAs, frequently lose elections in India.
This shows that people's political choices are not fixed based on their caste or community.
Other factors matter. Clearly, while caste is a factor in elections, many other things are just as important.
Voters have strong connections to political parties, which are often stronger than their connection to their caste.
People within the same caste can have very different interests based on their economic situation. Rich and poor, or men and women from the same caste, often vote very differently.
And importantly, people's opinion of how the government has performed and how popular leaders are also play a crucial and often deciding role.
Politics influencing caste. It's not just caste affecting politics. Politics changes caste, too. Different caste groups learn they have to team up, forming partnerships, coalitions, to be stronger.
This forces them to talk to each other and work together. New bigger groups, like backward and forward castes, have been formed because of politics.
So, is caste in politics a good thing or a bad thing? Well, my friend, it's complicated. Think of it like a megaphone.
The good side. For centuries, many communities, like the Dalits and OBCs, had their voices silenced.
They weren't heard. Politics gave them a megaphone. Suddenly, they could stand up and make their demands heard loud and clear.
They could fight for dignity, for respect, and for a fair share of power and resources. This is the positive power of the megaphone. It helps the voiceless finally get a seat at the table.
The dangerous side, however, focusing too much on caste alone can also lead to negative outcomes.
Just like with religion, politics based only on caste identity is not healthy for a democracy. It can distract attention from other urgent issues like poverty, economic development, and corruption.
In some cases, intense caste divisions can even lead to tensions, conflict, and violence.
Wow, what a journey we've taken today. We learned that the backstage work, so often done by women, is just as vital as the onstage show, and that new laws are helping more women take their rightful place as leaders.
We saw that our country is a beautiful mix of faiths, protected by the super shield of secularism from the dangerous idea of communalism.
And we understood the story of the unfair race of caste and how politics can sometimes be a megaphone that gives a voice to those who were forced to start behind.
The most important lesson, my friend, is this: having differences is not a threat to our democracy. In fact, when people use their voice to demand fairness, it makes our democracy stronger.
The danger only comes when these differences are used to build walls, to spread hate, or to make us forget that we are all on the same team, Team India.
Your job as a super smart citizen of this amazing country is to be a bridge builder, to understand these complexities.
And to always work for a society where the race is fair for everyone. The team plays in unity, and everyone gets a respectful share of the biryani. Because that is the true, unbeatable strength of our incredible Indian democracy.
Got any questions? Ask in the comments below. We are here to help. Subscribe for more. And let's keep learning together. That's a wrap. Now go out there and amaze the world with what you've learned. See you in the next one.